convictions and all, the age should be lowered. Right now it is 25, so it is they are recommending it to 18 years. Okay, so that is one of the news we'll cover in this details. Next topic we have Maharatna and Navratna. You might be aware that PSUs, public sector undertaking industries, are generally divided into three categories: Mini Ratna, Navratna, and Maharatna. So recently, you can say this company has been, you can say, elevated from Navratna to Maharatna, which is the company that I'll discuss when I'll go to the topic. Next is renaming a state. You might have heard in the news that Kerala Assembly had passed a resolution to name Kerala as a Keralam. Okay, you might be aware that in Kerala, Malayalam population is high, and in Malayali, Kerala is called to be Keralam. So that's why demand has been raised. Next is criminal case against Assam Rifle. It is related to Manipur violence, and in Manipur, you might be aware that two tribes are fighting amongst each other. So in that, this Assam Rifle and Manipur local police is also fighting. That's why it is in the news. Next is Rahul Gandhi MP status restored. You might be aware, you can say one of the tallest leader of opposition, Rahul Gandhi, and he has been, you can say his membership has been snatched, as he has made some general remark by the name called Modi, and due to that his MPship has been snatched. Now it has been restored by Supreme Court as the conviction has been stated. I'll read in detail what are the clause, why membership has been taken, and how it has been restored. So that all we'll discuss. Vacation bench of Supreme Court, and one topic is ECOWAS. ECOWAS is a group of a country in, you can say, in Africa island. So that we'll discuss in detail. So let's discuss all these things. Before that, I just want to brief you about two more topics, which is not mentioned here, but it is very important. And it has been, you can say, in the news just day, you can say yesterday. Since it is in the yesterday news, so it is not included in this PPT. But for your knowledge, I am sharing because it is very important. As you might be aware that monsoon session is going on in Parliament. So recently, Parliament has bring a bill, you can say, or Home Minister has tabled a bill in which he has, you can say, amended some of the provision of CRPC, IPC, and Indian Evidence Act. What is CRPC, IPC, and Indian Evidence Act? Can anyone tell me what is the difference between CRPC, IPC, and in these two terms? Anyone? Online, offline? What is the difference between CRPC and IPC? And it has been amended, and name also has been amended. Some of the provision has been amended, and name also has been amended. So anyone can explain me what is CRPC and what is IPC? A very basic difference. No? See, when we talk about IPC, it just deal with the law and crime. Like suppose murder is a crime. So how many year of punishment who has done murder should be given? Like suppose 8 years or 10 years or 9 years or 11 years. Just I'm giving an example. Don't consider it to be fact. So I'm just saying that a crime has been done, murder, and there is a law for that crime or the punishment for the same crime. That is dealt in IPC, that is Indian Penal Code. कहने का मतलब ये है इंडियन पिनल कोड ये बताता है कि क्राइम क्या हुआ है और उसके लिए पनिशमेंट कितना है, बस इतना ही बताता है. जितने भी तरह के क्राइम है सारे डिफाइन किए गए हैं. But if we talk about CRPC, as name itself suggests, the P stand for procedural. Criminal Procedure Code we generally say in the shorter format, Criminal Procedure Code. So name as itself suggests that it is, you can say, if you look into this, name itself suggests procedural. So it talks about procedure, that how a person will be arrested, what are the remedies if person has committed the crime, how he can avail the law, or how he can approach different court and all. So all the things are mentioned in the CRPC. So CRPC basically deal broader of IPC, that is a procedural way of crime, procedural way of law, that how if a crime is committed, how punishment will be given, how evidence will be collected, everything is written in the CRPC. So it deals with the procedural part. There is a third thing, that is we call Indian Evidence Act. Indian Evidence Act is the third part of it. It deals with Indian Evidence Act exclusively deal with the evidence part. Like suppose whether in a crime video evidence will be admissible or not, audio evidence will be admissible or not, what are the type of evidence, how evidence is admissible, when notice to be served. So all these things are written in Indian Evidence Act. So generally these three things are very handy for police and all when a crime is committed. Thereafter that, what it is the how means punishment should be awarded, what are the procedure he can avail, that means the person who has done the crime, what are the procedure he can avail. So all these things. So this is the difference between IPC, CRPC and Indian Evidence Act. Okay, just to summarize, IPC just deal with what is the crime and how much punishment should be given. CRPC deal with the procedural aspect, whereas Indian Evidence Act deal with the evidence, that how evidence should be collected, what evidence can be collected, all will deal with by Indian Evidence Act. Now coming to the changes, the name of all these three has been changed by the government. The bill has been tabled and IPC, can anyone tell me what is the name has been changed for IPC? Bharati Nyay Sanhita. So new name for IPC, the new name, old name was Indian Penal Code. Now new name is Bharati Nyay Sanhita. So new name for IPC is Bharati Nyay Sanhita. If anybody want to note it down, can note it down. The new name for IPC is Bharati Nyay Sanhita. Similarly, for CRPC, the name has been changed, and for the CRPC it is Bharati. You can note it down for CRPC as well. Bharati Nagrik Suraksha. So name for CRPC is Bharati Nagrik Suraksha. So the name has been changed. Earlier it is CRPC, Criminal Procedural Code, but now the new name is Bharati Nagrik Suraksha, and for IPC it is Bharati Nyay Sanhita. Then if we talk about Indian Evidence Act, just it has been translated in, you can say, in Hindi. Earlier it was in English. So Indian Evidence Act, earlier name was Indian Evidence Act. Now Bharati Saksh. Evidence in Hindi we call Saksh. So it is now Bharati Saksh Bill. So the Indian Evidence Act has been now amended as Bharati Saksh Bill. आपको पता है इंडिया में थोड़ा ऐसा है कि नाम चेंज हुआ है, like Gurugram, it is now Gurugram. So changing and renaming, you can say naming is something you can say fantasy of this government, we can say that. But yes, so many places the name has been changed, and here it has been amended. One more important thing in this regard, there one more you can say provision has been you can say repealed, that is 124A. I hope you might be aware of this. What is 124A? It was the provision of CRPC. It deals with the sedition law. I hope you are aware what sedition means. Sedition means राष्ट्रद्रोह, देशद्रोह. तो ये राष्ट्रद्रोह जो देशद्रोह का कानून था उसको रिपील कर लिया गया, यानी कि हटा लिया गया है. अब मींस इंडिया में अब इस बिल के पास हो जाने के बाद से 124A वैलिड नहीं है, यानी सेडिशन का कानून वैलिड नहीं है. Time and again High Court and Supreme Court repeatedly you can say advised government to repeal this law because it was used by Britishers against India. And sometime even law commission have also given argument that since it was used by Britishers, so we can have some changes in this, or we can go for more practical approach, as clearly sedition was not defined. Like suppose there was some example where a chief minister of Bengal portrait was you can say designed in the wrong sense, and that person was arrested under sedition law. Similarly, prime minister, some if you say some of the words against opposition and all, So sometimes you can be arrested under sedition law. So sedition law cannot be used for such purposes. So it has to be either repealed or it is need to be defined in the broader sense. It cannot be like you can say your voice should be suppressed, because you know that in India fundamental right is respected and we have a freedom of speech. Unless it is something against the nation, we cannot apply sedition law. But it has been looked into that the cases which have been filed under sedition law, hardly 1% of those got convicted. That shows that government was using sedition law wrongly, or the law agency or enforcement agency was using you can say sedition law wrongly. So that's why there was a demand, or you can say Supreme Court advice to the government that this has to be repealed, and finally in monsoon session government has repealed that. So this was related to CRPC, IPC. I have just explained that the name has of CRPC and IPC has been changed. Now it has to be called as a Hindi name, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha, and Bharatiya Sakshi Bill. Second point I have explained in this that there is a repealed of 124A, that is sedition law. So this was one of the important topic which is not in the list which I have covered it. Another important topic which I think I have already covered when I was covering ordinance, but now this ordinance has been turned into bill, that is Delhi Service Act. So now that ordinance has turned into the act. I hope you might be aware of difference between ordinance and act. Ordinance is promulgated by president directly, that is by using the power under Article 123. If same ordinance is promulgated by the governor, they use power under Article 213. It is the power of governor, it is the power of president. Now, how a act और अ बिल इज डिफरेंस फ्रॉम ऑर्डिनेंस. ऑर्डिनेंस जो होता है वो इमरजेंसी केस में लाया जाता है, जबकि दोनों सेशन जो हाउस का है वो सेशन में नहीं है. उस केस में कोई अगर इंपॉर्टेंट अर्जेंसी ऐसा कुछ है, एट दैट टाइम प्रेसिडेंट कैन प्रमोगलेट द ऑर्डिनेंस. ठीक है, जबकि बिल जो होता है वो दोनों हाउसेस से पास होगी, फिर फाइनली प्रेसिडेंट का साइन होता है. एज यू माइट बी अवेयर दैट दिल्ली सर्विस एक्ट हैज बीन, you can say, notified by the president. If we talk about important provision of Delhi Service Act, so just to brief, because I have already discussed in the ordinance and it is almost similar to the ordinance, but just few points to mention here. In Delhi Service Act, there is an insertion of clause 4A, that is Delhi GNCD Act 1991. I hope you are aware of that. Delhi has been formed in 1991. दिल्ली जो है वो यूटी विद असेंबली 1991 में बना था. इस क्लॉज में बदलाव किया गया और इसमें जो है 4A कंडीशन ऐड किया गया है. इस कंडीशन के तहत सीधा सा तौर पे कहा गया है कि LG would be the supreme power in Delhi. There will be a committee that would be set up, which we call National NSCA, National Service Civil Service National Civil Service Authority. It will comprise of, you can say, Principal Secretary, Chief Secretary, and CM. Although CM is a chairperson of this committee, but you can see that other two person is a bureaucrat. Okay. Generally, the democracy of India, what we have learned from the very basic, I hope you have learned in the class 6 itself, that कि इंडिया में अकाउंटेबिलिटी कैसे फिक्स किया गया है. क्या कहा गया है कि ब्यूरोक्रेसी इज अकाउंटेबल टू द मिनिस्टर्स एंड मिनिस्टर इज अकाउंटेबल टू द पीपल, और यू कैन से मिनिस्टर इज अकाउंटेबल टू द लेजिस्लेचर. ठीक है, लेकिन यहां तो उल्टा ही हो रहा है. वी आर मेकिंग ब्यूरोक्रेसी डायरेक्टली, यू कैन से, रिस्पॉन्सिबल टू यू कैन से पीपल. एक बहुत ही फनी आर्टिकल है इस रिगार्ड में. जनरली जब हम किसी हायर पोस्ट पे होते हैं तो व्हाट वी जनरली वी डू, there is a meeting is called and our director or some go in the meeting and secretary sit outside and they take phone call if important message is there. अगर कोई सेक्रेटरी बाहर बैठता है तो वो इंपॉर्टेंट मैसेज के समय फोन कॉल लेता है. पर जो दिल्ली का कंडीशन है उसमें क्या होगा, सीएम साहब बाहर बैठेंगे और बोलेंगे हमारे सेक्रेटरी जो है, चीफ सेक्रेटरी, वो मीटिंग में है, आपको कोई मैसेज देना है क्या. तो सीएम जो है वो चीफ सेक्रेटरी के लिए मैसेज देगा. जस्ट आई एम एक्सप्लेनिंग हिंदी जस्ट टू मेक यू अंडरस्टैंड कि ये क्या कंडीशन है पूरा. Because you see, 2 bureaucrats and 1 CM, and whatever decision will be taken, that will be taken by majority. So in this, principal secretary will be bureaucrat, chief secretary will be bureaucrat, and CM is in minority. So it's something like that. CM is taking message for its secretary. हाँ भाई, secretary साहब बैठे हैं, बता दीजिए जो बता रहा है. It's completely against the basic law of democracy which have been taught to us in class 6 itself. I don't know what really this bill serves the purpose for the federalism. Yes, it sometimes looks that it is solving Delhi crisis. That Delhi is just some special formed by some special act. But according to me, or as my personal opinion, I would say it is better to convert Delhi as a completely UT. If you are not giving power to CM, then just do not demonize the position. Because in constitution, position is also important. When we talk about governor, when we talk about lieutenant governor, we say that they are constitutional posts. So in democracy, constitutional post is also important. No matter who is sitting on that chair, if that person have different characteristics, that is a different thing. But the position of that CM or the position of lieutenant governor is very well defined in the constitution, as well as in, you can say, democracy also. So if we are changing that, if we are diminishing the position of CM, that is really a sad state of affair in case of democracy. So this has been done in Delhi. So whatever decision will be taken in Delhi will be taken by this authority, that is National Service Civil Service Act authority had been formed, and this authority will take all the decisions on the behalf of you can say Delhi. Now, in case any of the conflict arises between these three, the final decision will be taken by lieutenant governor. So again, one more person who is the final authority is a elected one. Sorry, selected one. Generally in democracy, elected one should be given the right, but we are giving the right to the selected one. Principal secretary is selected one, chief secretary is selected one, lieutenant governor is selected one. Only one person in this is an elected one, that is CM Sahab, and he has given no power. So that's what has been done in case of Delhi Service Act. First ordinance has been brought, and then Service Act has been brought. It is a long drawn battle. It would almost take 8-year battle, and there was a 5-judge bench who has delivered its verdict. And in its verdict, it is clearly said that in Delhi, officers should be reporting to the ministers and CM. But that verdict has been, you can say, turned by Parliament. As you know that Parliament had power to make law, and Parliament had power to change any part of the constitution. So that Parliament can do. Now this will go through, you can say, this will go through the scrutiny of Supreme Court, whether it has violated the basic structure of constitution or not. If it has been violating the basic structure of constitution, then this bill will be struck down. Otherwise, this is the condition of Delhi as of now. Okay, so this was the two important news which I need to cover. Now coming to the today's sections of current affairs. Okay, minimum age. So you can see that there is a recommendation to lower it down to 18. You can see here the election from 25 years to 18. As you know that right now, Panchayat election age is Panchayat 21, MP MLA for Lok Sabha, LS it is 25. For RS, it is 30. RS is Rajya Sabha, or member of Legislative Council, it is 30. And for president, it is 35. Generally, a logic given behind this is, you can say, intellect and maturity developed at this age. The Election Commission say that minimum age to conduct election we have kept at 25 for MP MLA, because generally intellect developed at this age. Sometime it is contradictory also कि जो 18 साल के बच्चे को अगर पंचायत के लाने का अनुभव हो जाता है, तो फिर 25 साल का होने पे उसको एमएलए का ये कैसे जज किया गया? व्हाट आर द फैक्टर्स? क्या क्या आपने सोचा जो आपने ये चीज डिसाइड किया? So there is a debate over this, and parliamentary committee panel has recommended to reduce age to 18. The logic which has been given by parliamentary committee is that it will ensure more youth participation. If we reduce the age from 25 to 18, it will, you can say, ensure more youth participation. But election commission is opposing it. Election commission is saying that the general maturity age should be 25 for MP and MLA. So it should be there. So there is a debate. It has not been implemented. It's just a report. Just we are discussing a report. A report has been given by parliamentary panel. So that report we are discussing. So you can say the difference. Minimum age for Rajya Sabha is 30 years, that I have already explained. Minimum age for Lok Sabha is 25 years, so that I have already explained. Benefits of lowering minimum age, that's a logic which has been given by, you can say, committee. Youth representation and fresh perspective, so that's what I have said कि जो young लोग हैं उनको मौका मिलेगा politics में. Engage young individual in the political process. Injects new and diverse viewpoint in a policy discussion. Enhance political engagement, like political awareness, participation among youth. So all these things will be there. Apart from that, diverse leadership, ठीक है, जिसमें कि हर एज ग्रुप के जो है लीडर्स उसमें आने का चांसेस बनेगा. So that would be ensured by we lower the age down to 18. But why from 25 to 18? It can be 21 also, because in panchayat there is a age limit of 21. So it's a discussion point, and it has not been implemented. Again, I am saying it has not been implemented. It's just a parliamentary panel report in which it has been said that a lower age of contesting election for MP and MLA should be 18. So it is just should be. It is not implemented. Election Commission is against it. So Election Commission views is mentioned here. You can go through same. Okay. Moving to the next, a very important topic, Maharatna and Navratna. You just today in current affair, you just need to discuss, or we just need to know that which company has been elevated. So category Maharatna, Navratna. Just a second. The government of India has elevated Oil India Limited to the Maharatna category. So earlier Oil India Limited was Navratna. Now it has been elevated to Maharatna. So one of the condition to be Maharatna is earlier you should be in Navratna category. तो कोई भी कंपनी महारत्ना कंपनी तभी बनेगी जब वो उससे पहले नवरत्ना कंपनी में हो. अगर वो उससे पहले नवरत्ना कंपनी में नहीं होगी तो वो महारत्ना कंपनी नहीं बनेगी. So this you should know. Moving to the category, that is Maharatna, Navratna and Mini Ratna. What is difference between them? That is written here. This is the highest category, Maharatna, and it was established in 2010. There is a board, CPSE, which control them. What generally Maharatna, Navratna and Mini Ratna is there? They are government controlled, but since they are doing better in economic purpose, so some autonomy is given to them. So that's why we call them Maharatna, Navratna. They have autonomy to recruitment, they have autonomy to decide salary and other benefits, perks and all. So these benefits, this autonomy powers is given to them. Their board, their board is called CPSE board, and this board has been given some directive power by government. Although they are under government, but they can say they are running independently. Although they become means autonomous, independently running. What should be the eligibility criteria? PSU must be already have a Navratna status. Okay, PSU must be listed in Indian Stock Exchange. Just point to be noted. For a Maharatna, it must be listed in the Indian Stock Exchange. You might be aware there are an SE and BSE stock exchange. So it has to be listed. Then only it will be termed as a Maharatna. It should have an average annual net profit after tax is 5,000 crore in last 3 years. So this condition also need to be fulfilled. The PSU should either have an average annual turnover of 25,000 crore in 3 years, or average annual net worth is 15,000 crore in 3 years. So these are the some conditions, major 3 conditions. First condition is earlier it should have a status of Navratna. That company can only be Maharatna. Second, it must be listed in Indian Stock Exchange. And third is the 5,000 crore revenue last 3 years. So that's the point which we need to know. If we talk about Navratna, again, Navratna is 1,000 crore. There it was 1,500 crore, but it is 1,000 crore without explicit government concern. They can also invest 15% of their net worth for project or 30% for a year. Criteria क्या है? Must be in Maharatna, Mini Ratna. So for company to be Navratna, it should be Mini Ratna. Simple सा बात है. कंपनी जो महारत्ना बनेगी उसको पहले जो है वो नवरत्ना होना पड़ेगा. ऐसी कंपनी जो कि नवरत्ना बनेगी उसको पहले जो है मिनी रत्ना होना पड़ेगा. सो गवर्नमेंट विल स्लोली elevate, you can say. Okay, they need excellent or very good MOU rating. Every year MOU release ratings for the company, so they should have a 60. Performance should be composite 60 or above. So out of 100 they should have a performance rating of 60 or above. Then only they can be elevated from Mini Ratna to Navratna. So these are the things: Mini Ratna, Navratna and Maharatna. If we talk about Mini Ratna, Mini Ratna is divided into two categories, category 1 and category 2. It has been formed in 1997. These entities known as Mini Ratna are divided into two categories, category 1 and category 2, based on specific eligibility criteria. This CPSE must have reported consistent profit over the past 3 years. So company to be, you can say, Mini Ratna must have a profitable company in last 3 years. Additionally, they should have achieved a pre-tax profit of 30 crore. So in case of, you can say, Navratna, it was 1000 crore. In case of Maharatna, it was 1500 crore. But in case of Mini Ratna, it is just 30 crore. Furthermore, they need to maintain a positive net worth. Category 2 company falling under this category must have a sustained profitable for 3 years, and they also required to maintain positive net worth. So category 2, you can say amount is not given, but they also need to maintain positive net worth. So you can refer this slide and can go through Mini Ratna, Maharatna and Navratna. So just to summarize this news, what we have discussed in this, that Oil India has been elevated from Navratna to Maharatna. And second part we have discussed how a company become Navratna, Maharatna or Mini Ratna. First you have to become Mini Ratna, then next step is Navratna, and then next step is Maharatna. It is decided by government, or you can say PSU. Okay. Coming to again next topic is renaming a state. You might have read in polity about Article 1 to 4. You might be aware Article 1, India, that is Bharat. You might be aware about Article 2, which deals with the entry of new state, and Article 3 which deals with the, you can say, existing state renaming or anything changes in boundary of existing state. And Article 4 states that any decision taken by in this regard regarding Article 1 to 3 will not be considered as a constitutional amendment. मतलब इस तरह का कोई भी अगर amendment होगा तो वो संवैधानिक बदलाव नहीं होगा. That will be a general amendment and can be passed by a simple majority. That means if Parliament take decision in regards to 3, 2 and 1, so that can be, Parliament can pass that by a simple majority. So that's a point you need to know. Now coming to the part renaming a state, as in the briefing section I have already said, Kerala is a state whose assembly had passed that it is to be renamed as a Kerala. But as I have already said, by Article 1, 2, 3, 4, so precisely Article 3, it is the power of Parliament. The State Assembly can only recommend, and that can be rejected by Parliament. So final renaming power of a state lie in the hand of Parliament. Yes, the state can change the name of its district. That is in the hand. Like Haryana government can change name of Gurugram as a Gurugram. Okay, so that is possible. Okay, so Faizabad can change as Ayodhya. So that is possible. Allahabad, Prayagraj. So these can be changed by the state government. But if we talk about changing the complete name of a state, that lie under Article 3 in the hand of Parliament. संसद ही इसमें बदलाव कर सकती है. State Assembly ने recommend करना है, तो उसने recommend कर दिया है. But Parliament has a power to reject that. Parliament has not taken a decision as of now, but that is a point regarding Kerala. The constitutional provision I have already discussed. Initiation of proposal, renaming process can be initiated by either Parliament or the State Assembly. So if Parliament has initiated, then that will be applicable. But since it has been initiated by State Assembly, so they can only initiate, but they do not have power to change. Okay. State legislature sends remaining proposal via resolutions to the central government. In Parliament, the bill requires recommendation from the President. Okay. If you see that this graph, the last point of this graph is Parliament can disregard the state legislature opinion. So Parliament, it is not binding on the Parliament. So state legislature opinion of changing the name of the state is not binding on Parliament. So that's a simple and very clear statement. So just it has been passed by Kerala Legislative Assembly, it does not mean that name of Kerala is changing to be Kerala unless decided by the Parliament. That is power in the center. Once approved by the Parliament, President, the bill becomes law, and then finally NSE is taken by all the municipal and all department, and finally the name of the state changes. Okay. If we talk about some of the history of Kerala, you can say the earliest mention of Kerala dates Black Emperor Asoka Rock in 257 BC, and the local ruler is referred as a Kerala Putra. Okay. and Kerala in Malayali. So that's why the name has been changed. Some history point I have just written just for your reference. You can go through that. Okay. Next is criminal case against Assam Rifle. There is a very peculiar case about Assam Rifle. Generally in India, there are the Central Reserve Force which comes under MHA, Ministry of Home Affairs. And then there is a defense, like army personnel, air force personnel, and all defense. This Assam Rifle takes salary from MHA and controlled by defense organization. So it is a peculiar case. इसको सैलरी मिलता है असम राइफल को, जो है वो मिलता है एमएचए से, और जो ये कंट्रोल किया जाता है वो डिफेंस डिपार्टमेंट के द्वारा कंट्रोल किया जाता है. लाइक यू माइट बी कमिंग इन द मेट्रो इन दिल्ली एंड यू माइट हैव सीन सीआईएसएफ. So they take salary from MHA, that is Ministry of Home Affairs, and they are controlled by Ministry of Home Affairs. But if we talk about Assam Rifle, it is a peculiar case where it is controlled by defense organization but takes salary from MHA. So sometime coordination issue arises, and due to that, sometime there is a fight. Why we are recently discussing it? Because Assam Rifle and Manipur Police is in warhead, you can say. Assam Rifle and Manipur Police, that is Manipur local. It is a war, you can say, fight between Assam and Manipur Police. Why? I hope you people are aware about Manipur crisis. You people might be knowing about Meitei and Kuki, two tribes I've already discussed in the class. If you not, kindly visit the previous videos about Meitei and Kuki, how those two tribes are fighting. Now, this Manipur Police had accused Assam Rifle to siding with the Kuki, and they are saying that these Kukis are, you can say, militant. So the local police is saying that you can say Assam Rifle is siding with local militant of Kukis and they are killing Meitei. So it is the, you can say, आरोप लगाया गया है मणिपुर पुलिस के द्वारा Assam Rifle पे. It is not correct or it cannot be correct, you can say. But due to this, you can say, AROP, they are fighting amongst each other. So that's only the news in this. And I have already explained the peculiar case of Assam Rifle. The Manipur Police registered a criminal case against Assam Rifle of 9th Battalion, duty and criminal intimidation. By reading this, you can think that when two command authorities fighting amongst each other, so what is the worst condition in Manipur? So that's another point we can draw from this news. Okay. If we talk about Assam Rifle accused allowing Kuki militant, which I've already explained, to escape freely to a safe zone. Army denies the claim and stating that battalion followed unified headquarters mandate and buffer zone guideline. This disputed area is a buffer zone and under the control of Central Security Forces. So Army is denying the claim of police. Police is just making false allegations against Army, you can say like that. Assam Rifle is one of the 7 Central Armed Force Police Force under Ministry of Home Affairs. So they are under Ministry of Home Affairs, responsible for maintaining law order in Northeast India and guiding the Indian Manipur. Okay. If we talk about unique control structure that I've already explained, Assam Rifle has a dual control, administrative control and operation under the Indian Army. MHA provides salary, infrastructure, while Army decide personal deployment, posting and transfer. So that means the control is in the hand of Indian Army, but posting, you can say, payment and all is done by this, you can say, Assam Rifle. Coordination challenge, dual control leads to the coordination problem. Assam Rifle personnel works alongside Army, but face disparity in pay and retirement benefit. Although they worked under Army, but whatever benefits given by taken by Army, that they do not get. So this is a different matter. But what we are discussing today, they are in loggerhead with the Manipur Police, and you have already read in the previous sections that the Manipur Police had made an allegation that Assam Rifle is siding with the Kuki militant. Okay, so it stands on dual control. So this is again different thing. MHA always wanted that they should be shifted to Central Reserve Police Force and given to the MHA. Even control part should be given to the MHA. Coming to the next news, Rahul Gandhi MP status restored. Okay, in a very peculiar case, that is Modi surname case. Case क्या है? काफी simple case है इसमें. Rahul Gandhi ने in the world, like you might be aware that some of the person like Nirav Modi has fled from the India. So in order to defaming them, Rahul Gandhi has said a word which can be taken like they have, you can say, defamed all person with the title name Modi. Okay, so this is the case. यानी कि जिसका भी नाम मोदी होगा सभी चोर है. It look like that by his statement. And court has taken, like High Court and local court of Gujarat has given punishment of 2 years. Okay. And if by people RPA, that is Representation of People Act, there is a Representation of People Act which governs the parliament. By that, if a person is convicted 2 years or more than 2 years, he is disqualified, is directly disqualified from the parliament, or even if he is an MLA, he will disqualified from the state assembly. Okay, so that same has happened with the Rahul Gandhi. What are the condition? How the condition is background of the Rahul Gandhi case: convicted in 2009 defamation case over remarks Modi surname. Then in March 2023, he was sentenced to 2 years in jail, and this lead to his disqualification under Section 8 of RPA, which I have already said, Representation of People Act. He has been disqualified. Rahul sought stayed from Session Court and High Court, which were denied. Finally, Supreme Court stayed, and his membership has been restored. So sometimes this also is a peculiar case that High Court and local court gives completely opposite verdict of Supreme Court. It also shows that generally High Court and local court do not believe in bail, they believe in jail. I have already discussed in a different matter in one session that why it is important to give a bail than to jail. Okay, so in this case also the same. If some of the provision, disqualification of a lawmaker is outlined in Article 102 and 191 of the Indian Constitution. Disqualification criteria include holding an office of profit, unsound, it is not okay, insolvency, and not a valid Indian citizenship. So this is the one of the conditions a person should be disqualified. Next is 10th schedule, that is defection, like you are switching your party or you are not following your party line. So then in that case also you can be disqualified. Then Representation of People Act. So there is a 8, 9, 10. These are the Representation of People Act. And in this case, in the case of Rahul Gandhi was disqualified on the basis of RPA, that is Representation of People Act, as he has committed the crime and he has convicted for more than 2 years. Earlier, there was a rule in this same provision that if a person is convicted by the lower court and within 3 months if he appeals in the higher court, then he need not to be disqualified. अगर कोई पर्सन कन्विक्ट मतलब लोअर कोर्ट के द्वारा कन्विक्ट कर दिया गया और उसने सजा दे दिया गया 2 साल का और उसने 3 महीने के पीरियड में अगर हायर कोर्ट में अपील कर दिया तो उसको डिस्क्वालीफाई नहीं किया जाता था, ये प्रोविजन था. बट सुप्रीम कोर्ट टर्म्स इट द अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल. एन अपील इन यू कैन से in Lily Thomas case versus Union of India, Supreme Court ruled this unconstitutional, and Supreme Court has said that until a conviction has been stayed, that means suppose a person has been given 2 years punishment, until this punishment stayed, मतलब इसको रोक लगा दिया गया, तब तक उसको डिफेमेशन मतलब उसको डिस्क्वालीफाई किया जा सकता है. Only appeal will not ensure that he is not getting disqualified. मतलब सिर्फ अपील करने से ऐसा नहीं होगा कि आप डिस्क्वालीफाई नहीं होगे. सपोज आपको लोअर कोर्ट ने 2 साल की सजा दे दी और आपने अपील किया हायर कोर्ट में, जब तक हायर कोर्ट आपको कन्विक्ट से स्टे नहीं कर देता, आपकी सजा पे रोक नहीं लगा देता है, then till then you will be considered as a you can be disqualified. So that's the case. That's why Rahul Gandhi has been disqualified. But now since Supreme Court has stayed the conviction, so Rahul Gandhi membership has been restored by the Lok Sabha secretary. Moving to the next, vacation bench of Supreme Court. Again a fight between judiciary and executive, as they both sometime want to extend their hand with each other. So it's a fight between judiciary and executive. So Kiran Rijiju, who was early law minister, he generally used to criticize Supreme Court for the vacation bench. The point was, since so many cases was pending in front of Supreme Court, then why they go for the vacation? Okay. Although during vacation they appoint a vacation bench. What is suppose कि अगर Supreme Court 2 महीने के लिए vacation में जाता है, छुट्टी में जाता है, ऐसे में सारे जज नहीं बैठते हैं, सिर्फ vacation bench के 2 जज बैठेंगे जो किसी को CJI अपॉइंट करते हैं, and they hear the matter and they decide whether this matter qualify for urgent hearing और इट विल बी टेकन आफ्टर वेकेशन बेंच एंड। तो वो डिसाइड करता है कि छुट्टी के बाद इस मैटर को सुना जाएगा या अभी सुनना जरूरी है। तो वेकेशन बेंच के बारे में थोड़ा सा एक तरह से कंफ्लिक्ट है सरकार और कोर्ट के बीच में। जो जुडिशियरी फैटर्निटी है या जो लॉ अबाइडिंग फैटर्निटी है, उनका कहना है कि उनको भी रेस्ट की जरूरत है, जबकि सरकार का कहना है कि इतनी लंबा ब्रेक लेने की क्या जरूरत है जबकि इतने सारे केसेस पेंडिंग है ऑलरेडी। तो दीज आर यू कैन से पॉइंट ऑफ आर्गुमेंट बिटवीन गवर्नमेंट। तो यूनियन लॉ मिनिस्टर्स क्रिटिसाइज द जुडिशियरी लॉन्ग वेकेशन amidst rising pending cases and prompting debate on the need for such break. Earlier he was law minister, now he is not law minister, but he has criticized earlier only. Okay. Vacation bench definition and function. A vacation bench is a specialized bench formed by the Chief Justice of India during the Supreme Court summer and winter vacation. While the court is not entirely closed during this break, litigant can approach the court with the urgent matter. The vacation bench decide whether its urgent matter qualify for urgent matter or not, or it will be heard after vacation. So that I've already explained. High Court and trial court similar vacation bench are present in High Court. So in High Court also there is a vacation bench. So it's a, you can say, just an argument between judiciary and you can say executive. I leave this question unto you that whether they should go for the vacation or not, or a vacational bench should be there for judicial fraternity or not. According to me, if everyone taking holiday, they should, instead of argument like why so many cases are pending, government should, you can say, extend their workforce. Like if there are 34 means judges in the Supreme Court, that has to be extended to 50 in case you need to sort out the cases early. Similarly, in case of High Court, as there are shortage of judges also. Okay, so that's all in that news. Moving to the next, ECOWAS. What was it? Just you have to need learn the full form. It is Economic Community of West African State. So some of the West African state coming together formed economic community to strengthen their economic condition. Okay, and the why we are reading this, because this committee has directed a state Niger. So there is a state Niger in west in this committee ECOWAS, and they had directed Nigers to restore the president who has been removed. Okay, so militant Janta defied their deadline to reinstate the country's ousted president. So they have removed a president, you can say, without any fault. So they has been directed by this group, because this group is controlling their economy. So this group has directed them to restore their president. What is Niger? Niger is one of country which is under this ECOWAS. Okay, so they has been directed to restore their president, but they refuse to do so. So they are planning to take actions against them. What are the country? Its member include Benin, Burkina Faso, Cape Verde, Cote d'Ivoire, the Gambia, Ghana, Guinea. Okay, these are the countries which include, that is in the member, and these are the member of ECOWAS, established in 1975 through the Lagos Treaty, aims to promote economic integration among 15 member countries. तो सीधी सी बात है, एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन फॉर्म किया गया है जो कि 15 वेस्ट अफ्रीकन नेशंस के इकोनॉमी को स्ट्रेंथन करने की बात करता है। उसका एक कंट्री है नाइजर। नाइजर में क्राइसिस था, उसके प्रेसिडेंट को रिमूव किया गया था, बट दे हैव आस्क्ड देम टू रिस्टोर, बट दे हैव नॉट डन, so they are planning to take actions against them. Important point to be noted here, that what is ECOWAS? ECOWAS was a 15-member country for the economic strengthening of West African nation, and the condition which we are reading is about Niger. Okay, so that important point in this. We have also showed you map about the country which we have mentioned there, so that you can go through by yourself. Okay, so these are the important news. Okay, apart from these, what you can go through for this week, just I am saying, which we have not, which could not covered in this session, or which I can say you have to read by yourself also, because current affair is such a vast that everything cannot be covered, but you can go through that. So many important bill has been passed by the monsoon session, like Forest Amendment Act, the Forest Amendment Bill, which was of 1980, that has been amended. Similarly, there has been a bill passed about Jan Suraksha Bill. Okay, so that has been important. So some of the important bill has been passed by the parliament monsoon session. There is around 31 bill that has been considered for the monsoon session. Every bill cannot be discussed, but you can read most important bill like Delhi Service Act. You can say you can read about Van Suraksha Adhiniyam, and you can read about Jan Suraksha Adhiniyam, regarding CRPC, regarding IPC. So these are some important bill tabled by the government regarding removing of sedition law. So this is because this week is completely related to monsoon season. Even some of the MP has been suspended, like from Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha both. So that's the important part for today's current affair. Now let's move to the some of the MCQ which we are going to discuss. The first MCQ is related to governor. I exactly even I am not remembering that how many sessions I have covered for the governor. So lots of topic to discuss about governor because it is a conflicting topic. So if it is just something that is conflicting, that can be discussed again and again. So first question is, which of the following statement is correct? The option is, in India, the same person cannot be appointed as governor of 2 or more states at the same time. It is wrong. A person can be appointed of a governor of 2 or more states at the same time. Although it in the constitution, it is written that every state should have a governor, but it is just a word should. Any person can be appointed governor of 2 states, like Punjab and Haryana have a same governor, that is Barbari Lal Purohit. The name is Barbari Lal Purohit. The judges of High Court of the state of India are appointed by the governor. No, they are appointed by the president. Judges of High Court and Supreme Court both are appointed by the president, not by the governor. No procedure has been laid down to the Constitution of India for the removal of governor from his and her post. It is right. I have already said that when I was discussing the governor process, that in the case of governor, it is a constitutional post and their appointment and removal is not fixed. Like they are not fixed for 5 years. Anytime government or president want to remove him, they can remove him. So that's why it is the correct one. The option C is the correct one. In the case of union territory having legislative setup, the chief minister is appointed by lieutenant governor. No, again, chief minister, although lieutenant governor is superpower, but chief minister is appointed by the president, not the lieutenant governor. So in case of union territory, chief minister is appointed by, you can say president. They are appointed by the president, although the oath is administered by the lieutenant governor, or in case of state, it is by the CM. Governor. Moving to the next question. With the reference of Quit India movement, you can say very famous movement in the history. Consider the following statement. The movement was launched in 1942. I think no doubt in this. It is the correct. Mahatma Gandhi gave the slogan of do and die, karo or maro. It is again correct. So second one is the correct. The Quit India movement resulted the immediate exit of British colonial official. Wrong, because we got independence in 1947. The Quit India movement was in 1942. It was not immediate. Now question is, how many statements given above are correct? So 2 statements. First and second are the correct one. Which of the following statement regarding the biofuels is correct? Biofuels are derived solely from animal waste and bioproduct. No. Biodiesel is the type of biofuel made from fermented agricultural crops. No. First generation biofuels are produced from non-food feedstock. Yes, it is the correct. जो पहला जनरेशन बायोफ्यूल होता है वो रेसिडुअल से कनेक्ट किया जाता है, जो रेसिडुअल जो बच जाता है, लाइक सॉ डस्ट हो गया, शुगर केन डस्ट हो गया, तो फ्रॉम दैट इट इज कनेक्टेड. सो द ऑप्शन सी इज द करेक्ट. A detailed explanation is given, you can go through that. Which greenhouse gas beside carbon dioxide is often associated with the carbon footprint? It is methane. Methane is the carbon footprint. I hope you are aware of the formula CH4. Okay. Moving to the next. Consider the following statement. The market value goods and services taken at constant price is nominal GDP. I hope you might be aware. Good GDP is the final value of all 3 service sector goods. So it is not at the constant price. So the first one is incorrect. The value of goods and services taken at current price is the real GDP. No, it is taken at constant. The value of goods and service, you can say the real GDP I have already explained. So in this case, neither one, neither two, both is incorrect. GDP is the total market value of all goods and services produced in the economy during a particular year. एक साल में जो भी produce होगा, all sector, primary, secondary and tertiary sector, that will be called as a GDP. The market value taken at current price is the nominal GDP. So market value taken at current price is the nominal GDP, and the real GDP is the value of final value of all the product. So that's why both is the incorrect. It is a small village where Sangam era, you might be aware in the Sangam literature, is a very historical and very important part. So it has been asked that which archaeological site being referred for the same. So it is Kiladi. Archaeological site is the referred for the same. Okay, so B option is the correct. So this Kiladi archaeological site mentioned about the Sangam literature, or whatever mentioned in the Sangam literature can be found in this archaeological site. Like similarly, we found many things which has been mentioned in the Harappan literature in many places. So similarly, it is about Sangam literature. What will follow if money bill is substantially amended by the Raj Sabha? I hope you are aware how many type of bill is passed by a parliament. Parliament can pass 4 type of bill. First bill we call ordinary bill, a day-to-day affairs bill, we call it as an ordinary bill. The second is a constitutional bill. Any amendment in the constitutional is called to be constitutional amendment bill. Okay. Ordinary bill can be passed by simple majority. For constitutional bill, it needs to be a you can say special majority. Third, money bill, and the fourth is finance bill. These are the 4 type of bill which generally passed by the parliament. All these 4 type of bill you will read in detail when you will read the polity, or you might be reading, you might have already read in detail that what are this type of bill, what are the conditions to pass this bill. So this bill you will read in detail. In today's current affairs, we are just discussing a MCQ. What will be following if a money bill is substantially amended by the Raj Sabha? Just to brief you, in case of money bill, only Lok Sabha is superior. So it will be tabled in the Lok Sabha, it will be passed by Lok Sabha, it will be amended by Raj Sabha. Can only just recommend something, and it depends on Lok Sabha whether to follow that or not. So the Lok Sabha may still proceed with the bill, accepting or not accepting the recommendation of Raj Sabha. So it is correct. So in case of money bill, since money bill is related to government, so it is that government is responsible for the Lok Sabha, not the parliament. So in that case, money bill is you can say accepting or not, it will be passed. So money bill just a power of Lok Sabha. So option A is correct. Rohini Commission was the news recently. It is related to poverty estimation, banking reform, subcategorization of OBC. See, okay, some of the new students who have joined today might not be understanding some of the MCQ. Just for your practice, that we are covering 10-12 MCQ which is related to which we some part of the news which we cover by current affairs news, and some we cover by MCQ. So if you have not gone through subject, some MCQ might difficult for you, but slowly once you read the subject, it will you will automatically adopt the practice. With the reference of ordinance, just we have discussed about ordinance. Constitution considers the following: President has power to promulgate the ordinance only when upper house of the parliament is not in the session. Wrong. Parliament can only not promulgate the ordinance when both the house in the session. जब दोनों हाउस सेशन में होगा तब ऑर्डिनेंस नहीं आएगा, उसके अलावा किसी भी कंडीशन में ऑर्डिनेंस आ सकता है. If an ordinance makes a law that parliament is not competent to enact under the constitution, it shall be considered void. So correct. So if parliament has violated the basic structure of doctrine or basic structure of constitution, in that case that law will be void. So only 2 is the correct one. The ordinance, okay, explanation part is given. Which of the following statement regarding the vacation bench? We have already discussed about vacation bench. The vacation bench operates throughout the year to address urgent matter during the court's vacation period, right? The Chief Justice of India preside over the vacation bench exclusively. Wrong. Chief Justice recommends some of the name, but it does not that he himself see. The vacation bench primarily handles the case of civil nature. No, it can handle any cases of urgent listing, whether it is civil or criminal. So only 1 is the correct one. Which of the following statement about ECOWAS, just we have read about this, 15 West African nation, was established in 1965. Wrong. It was established in 1975. So it is wrong. The headquarters of ECOWAS is located in Abuja, Nigeria, and the ECOWAS is aimed to achieve economic integration of currency called ECO. So in this case, B, only 2 is the correct one. Okay, so that's all in today's MCQ section. Just for your reference, we have covered 2 MCQ, and you can write and submit it to us. Okay, the first question is, discuss the historical and political factors that have led to renaming the certain state in India. So in this, you have to discuss about state reorganization. You have to discuss how a state has been formed. You have to discuss the history of Junagadh, history of Kashmir, and the State Reorganization Act, and everything about Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. So that you need to discuss in this section. Examine the significance and impact of Quit India movement in India's struggle of independence. Again, a very basic question, and you have to discuss about this. You know that in you can say history, If we talk about NCM, non-cooperation, that is civil disobedience, non-cooperation, and quit India movement. These are the three movements by which we got independence. So it is again important part. We have just given you approach, how to approach any question. So you can go through the approach section and then write your answer and can submit us for evaluation purpose. Okay. So that's all in today's current affair news and MCQ as well as men's question. We try to cover everything together, like men's purpose also, pre-purpose also, and basics current affair also. Any questions, anything? Oh, thank you.